Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and today we're looking at Donny County. I always have to be careful not to read that word as country instead because, well, long words, adding a letter is pretty easy. Um, this is a 2018 game from bunnies as the developer, published by Annapurna Interactive. That's as much intro as far as I looked up and cared to investigate. Um, I definitely heard about this game when it came out. It's kind of a puzzle game, but yeah, I don't want to spoil myself too much on it. What's interesting I have noticed here is that the audio kind of glitches out as it's playing in this menu. And then I'm going to try and use the controller, Xbox One controller for this, although it really feels like it should be a mouse game, but it has rumble support, it has controller sensitivity, stats, I suppose, for things. Well, you don't know what that is all about. There's a little bit of story from what I've seen in the past as far as this puzzle game, and it's kind of a unique comedic experience, and that is a pretty pathetic, I didn't bother to look up anything intro, so let's just start the game. Like, a certain level, I guess I would like to be able to play more games from just total ignorance. I bought this on Steam without looking at any reviews or seeing other people play it type perspective. Although in modern times, that's highly unlikely, and as a video game critic, I probably should be speaking from more of a point of authority and actually know a few things to say. But whatever. So here we have it. We're at Mira's house, I guess. This is a nice, sort of low polygon 3D experience. Mira, when are you coming into work? I'm bored. So you can text here with this raccoon, and then there's a dog. So it's kind of a low polygon and low color palette style. And usually when I say low polygon, I use that as an insult for games, but for this, because you're going to be zoomed out, I think most of the time, once we actually get into the gameplay mechanic, you'll see that it makes sense to be a little bit low polygoner. So I can see a duck, send a duck, and another duck, and I can send another duck, and I can send another duck. Huh. And there seems to be kind of a limit on just how fast or how many ducks you can send before it sends duck back. Alright, let's reply for real. Quiet, BK. I'm dead. I've died. Please have some respect. Lo, why are you dead? The honking man woke me up again. All at the honk of dawn. Honking. Unbelievable. Don't worry. I'll revenge you. Be careful, dude. So, like, real inside jokes here with the raccoon character. This guy really honks. Yeah, whatever. Come to the donut shop and stop feeding your dog bread. He needs bread to live, BK. He's a certified loaf. I'm leaving in 5 minutes, bye. And at that point, that's the end of your chatting back and forth. So, it looks like you can interact with only the real window, and that's it. You can, like, play with the shutters. And all of this is really just flavor. Here you have a finger and a donut pull string. I guess the idea is that you're going to open the window, and that's probably going to either be the way you crawl out of the place. So, here we have a bird, and he's honking. And you now, in the actual game, control this hole. So, the hole is designed to suck up the 3D polygon things, and it gets slightly bigger as you suck up more items. And I suppose there is a danger here you could spell out. Something pretty bad. Forgive my childishness there. But anyways, it is a childish idea anyways. And the idea is to have the camera zoom out so you can get the hole even bigger and find more things to suck up. So it's an interesting twist on something like Katamari Damacy, where you would have a ball that would roll around and you'd attach more things to the you would have a ball and attach more items to the ball and roll it and make the ball bigger and bigger. Instead, it's kind of the inverse of that. It's a black hole that gets larger and larger. And what's the reason that you did that? There isn't really a reason. The truth is, you don't play as a girl, you play as a raccoon. So you just sucked up the honking bird character to help your friend. Dude, the honking stopped. Did you actually just do something to the honking man? Duck, duck, duck. We'll do about 10 of these, but if there's like some achievement around getting 50 honks or something, that'd be fairly crazy. Alright. Yeah, don't worry about him. I just delivered him a donut. Smiley face. Okay, Lo. Well, I guess it distracted him. So his quote-unquote delivering a donut was to move this magical hole under him and drop him into who knows where. So, it's a silly pretext for a puzzle game, and arguably, there might not be too much of a real puzzle here if that was the whole game. If you were just given a few levels and you had to just suck up everything in the level, that's pretty Route 1 straightforward, and so there's needs to be some more challenges and interactable items for this main gameplay mechanic. I'm level 9 now. Wow. Kew L. I don't know what that is. I guess that's misspelling cool. You don't get it, Mira. At level 10, I earned my quadricopter. Or quadcopter. Alright, sick. Congratulations. Congrats. We're gonna buzz around like kings. Hee hee hee. Okay, see you soon. Bye. 6 weeks later. And we have some kind of like robot bug or... Oh no, that's the quadcopter. And they're in a pit. Mira. Ow. And so we are now getting more of a standard dialogue instead of the chatting by phones. How could you smash my quadcopter? ... Who cares about your stupid quadcopter? How could you destroy the entire town? 99 feet below Donut County. And so you can see the entire city is underground. So a flash forward here, I think it does set the level of intrigue and hints at to what you're supposed to do. Although this probably should be a flash forward before some big resolve where things go back to normal. I've never destroyed anything. I'm kind. OMG, what? You used that stupid app to open up holes all over town, and now we're all stuck underground. So he was playing the game and the app. Everything here looks fine to me, except my quadcopter. I'm the victim. Will someone back me up here? Coco. So it's just a bunch of anthropomorphic animals and one human in this world. Interesting. BK, it's obvious that you did it, says Potter. I got swallowed by a hole right after I ordered a donut from your shop. What does that have to do with Mira smashing my quadcopter? Potter, what happened to your son? Oh, pup. My sweet pupping boy. He must still be up there somewhere. And so it's going to be, I guess, a narrative story told in a series of flashbacks, which is an interesting way to do a game because almost always video games are so linear and obvious as far as just how they tell the story. Whereas movies and stories can have more of that cinematic flair. Alright, so you press A to deploy a hole, and does that hole get deployed anywhere? Or does it start somewhere specific? Start somewhere specific. So, the physics here will be when something doesn't quite fit. And so you're going to have to wiggle it around to see if it can go down. And arguably, that does make a potential lose scenario where something might plug up the hole and not be quite big enough to fit. And at that point, you're going to have to wiggle things a little bit more. And there was a bit of a puzzle there in that you needed to get the skull head or the cup off of their perch first before you could get the hole big enough. There, we've opened the gate so we can go further. And the camera will zoom out more and more, which will change the relative appearance of the size of the hole quite a bit. You can't get in the house though, so there is some level of limitations. And if this is timed or scored in any way, it's not really showing that, so this is a pretty relaxed and chill experience. And we can see BK in the background playing on a cell phone. So there's an assumption here that BK is controlling everything. Of course, it would be interesting if that wasn't the case. And getting what looks like the biggest thing seems to move the story forward. And then we have some other levels of physics. I wouldn't be surprised if this game was a experiment in just teaching yourself programming in physics, and that the developer was learning as he went. It's probably an achievement for breaking a bunch of pots, and there probably is some strategy here where you could actually avoid all of breaking any of the pots. And so he is now see, that one's a little too big, and I assume he's going to potentially fall. So we've sucked up the oven, which then lets us fill up his balloon and send him off flying away, breaking free, so we can create some other mayhem. Oh, and that was actually the first achievement we got. Now we just took the water in, which didn't seem to do anything. We're getting very big here. I think we could probably get that down the hole. Or we fling it somewhere else. Giant donut signs. Go ahead and get the fences. Get that area. And the last thing we'll get is this house. Great delivery. So we're getting some XP from the game, working our way up to rank 10 in the quadcopia. And we have a Trashpedia. What is a Trashpedia? You may think there's loot inside of it because it says barrel, but it's actually full of spiders. Alright. This is more of a D-pad thing you would want to use to control instead of, or like left trigger and right triggers, which jumps to the end. So you have something piffy and funny for every item you collected. But I don't think there's any special way to look at these kind of low polygon 3D models. And this, again, could have been a case where the creator of the game was maybe teaching themselves 3D modeling and made a lot of these models. Although, I would also be not surprised if most of these are actually just pre-bought 3D models. That would be very in line with what most games should do. Most game developers should do is that they should buy pre-made 3D models for things like plants and suitcases, things that aren't going to really matter that much. And so that's the Trashpedia, and apparently I didn't click on the question mark, or taking me to the question mark just did the same thing. Have a garbage day. Little icon. So now we have another flash forward. Well, I guess technically the way you would probably describe it is that the first beginning part of the story is a flashback, and then this is the current timeline when we're in these scenes, and then all the gameplay is in flashbacks also. Because if you're going to use phrases like flash forward and flash back, you probably shouldn't have to use both phrases unless there's a weird story being told where you both flash forward from the current timeline and flash back, but spend the vast majority of time in the middle. So Potter says, I just wanted to surprise Pup with a donut. Sniff. Now he's floating away. A lone pup. BK ... No, he's not. If you got swallowed first, how do you know Pup is in the balloon? This story is full of holes. Your brain is full of holes. And so is this entire town. Thanks to you. Just doing my job. Wait, I mean, nope, not true. I'm innocent. Wait, Pup is in a hot air balloon? I saw a hot air balloon flying by my ranger station. I'm not reading half of these words right. You saw Pup? Which way was he heading? I don't know, I got distracted. I had just ordered a donut. Nice. I got hungry when I'm anxious. Lol. I get hungry when I'm anxious. Lol. Anxious about what? Believe it or not. Snakes. You know, at a certain level, I think there might be an argument here that these people deserve it. Everything that happens to them for literally having donuts delivered to them. Although, you know, delivery donut service probably would be a great idea, and I'd probably partake if it were available at a reasonable price. But it is the height of laziness, certainly, for a donut, which is not nutritionally valuable. This may be a very loose allegory to Nero fiddling while Rome burns, or maybe even that movie. What was the one with the robot? The Disney movie with the robot that cleaned up the planet. And then there was a newer one called Eve. I don't know if I'm supposed to be avoiding the snakes or grabbing the snakes. I keep wanting to call the robot in that Disney movie Lilo, but it's not Lilo and Stitch. It's a totally different movie series. Well, it seems like at a certain level you can't do anything other than get all the snakes. I think you can put it off a little bit, but eventually you're gonna have no choice. I guess the idea is the snakes try to escape, so you want a pretty big hole. Well, anyways, I can't remember the name of the Disney movie with the robot that cleaned up the planet after it had been destroyed by humans, but then at some point the robot gets on a spaceship with the remaining humans, and they're all these morbidly obese characters who don't walk or exercise or move at all, and they just have food delivered to them by automated robots. Right, so we've got all kinds of chickens, and the chickens seem to be scared of snakes. And you have a whole snake danger. You have a whole snake danger that you're trying to raise the thing in, because you have like this snake tail sticking out now. So now it's no longer a case where yep, it's no longer a case where you're just using a hole to suck up the everything. You're knocking the chickens around and swinging the chickens on a swing, I guess. Yeah, I would think every level here needs to have a gimmick. And apparently, I just flooded the whole place. Because it looks like there's water everywhere, but does that mean the chickens are drowning? Doesn't feel like that's the case. Let's just grab everything. Seems like maybe they just got a little too artsy with the visuals here when the water tower exploded. And I think that's everything. Great delivery. And it's a quirky, upbeat music. Certainly. And I guess the question mark here really should be probably an exclamation mark to just show that there are some new items. The thing here, though, is I suspect that there is not really a way you can beat these levels without getting everything. Maybe there is a way that you could miss one or two things, but I doubt it. And at this rate, it doesn't feel like there's going to be too much of a game here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is barely an hour of an experience. So, arguably, and I should do this more often, I should just end this episode here with 2 levels. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So we'll just start again from this point. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.